Mass Chaos. This is just a general gameplay one particularly. I was having a good day. Finally got my PC working and all that good stuff. It was one of my pumps that went out. Similar to what I had an issue with a few months back. I was just enjoying my day, just playing and setting everything up to start everything like I had going on Monday or whatever. That way I still have my system in place for what I was doing and how I was doing it and all that good stuff. Amongst other things. As well as a few things that are in the works and actually have been completed as far as that. Like my Inspirations of a Gamer. I have that available on my YouTube now. Or at least the first volume. And a music version on music distributors. I'll be working on the second volume here pretty soon as well, but and there's another thing in the works, but I don't quite want to reveal that quite yet. But it is a little bit more involved, so it'll take a little bit more time to actually do it, but it was actually the original idea behind Inspirations of a Gamer, actually. Something I wanted to do alongside that. I don't know what this event is, but I might as well find out what the heck it is, because I don't know. It must be for soccer thing going on, I'm guessing. I don't know. Man, the emotes being so fast is kind of messing with me. Not really, actually, but kind of. Well, yeah, I had a nice little break. I had some stuff in the works that I was working on, as I have already said, but as well as a few other things that I've started to do that I wasn't doing before. Get out of that real quick, actually, while I'm thinking about it. The main reason why I don't want to really reveal that yet, because I don't know what I'm going to call it. Because I can't really call it Inspirations of a Gamer, though. Even though it goes along, goes side by side with it, it's not necessarily that. It is, but it isn't. It's actually kind of more in depth, actually, than that, but it's going to take me a long time to get it correct and all that good stuff, but They're gonna keep me busy, so that's all good. Among other things, if those particular things are still within, happening that I've kind of revealed, but not really because I don't know if it's gonna be or not. As soon as I know and it's a definite, then I have no problem revealing that, but there are a few things possibly in the works. One definitely in the works, but it's gonna take me a little while to get it worked out. What? Yeah, just chilling out, playing the game, and all that good stuff. Hopefully your day is going pretty good, and all that good stuff. I'm just enjoying myself as I sit here and just play and set my mind apart from everything else that I'm doing. That's gonna keep me really busy, but actually I probably should pretty soon start working on my other thing that I need to do, since now I've got the ability to start working on that, but let me make sure I got everything else in place first. But for what I'm working on that I know that is a definite, I have no problem like revealing what it's gonna be, but I'm actually going through and listening to every single game poem thing that I have, writing them down. I'm gonna type them up, but also like when I made my references to other videos, in some way or another, I can't figure out how I'm gonna do this part yet, but I'm gonna actually put the reference, the exact spot. So then all of a sudden, you know exactly what I meant. I just don't know what to call it yet. Because it's like Inspirations of a Gamer, but it's not. This particular one, though, will be more like something you'd be able to get on, what am I thinking of? Audible, or something like that. Because I can also include audio for it. I'll have to do a slightly different version of it, but... Well, I have the editing software. I can easily do that, but here's the biggest problem. I didn't always record my audio like I do now. So some of my older ones don't have any ability to be, without me having to redo them, to be able to be on or a part of Inspirations of a Gamer, unless I read it verbatim. Other than doing the actual video, which is the point of the Inspirations of a Gamer, why I'm doing this. But I might still show some of my older work for that, before I started doing that. You have to figure out exactly all the details, but it's in the works. I just don't know what to call it, because it's Inspirations of a Gamer, but it's not. Because it takes all the spots where I made video references, either past ones or ones yet to be made, and actually puts the reference right in front of you. So you don't even have to pay attention. But it's also one of those things where it's like, I'd rather actually have somebody actually listen than have to be set right in front of them, you know. But I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that. I may not even include the references. I mean, still have them there, but if you actually want to know what I meant, I don't know exactly how I want to do that yet, but can't really reveal the other thing that was in the works, but because it hasn't been confirmed. But what I'm talking about, it's already been confirmed. I've wrote down like 15 of them or something like that already. I just gotta type them up and publish them. Is all I gotta do. Of course, that was before I started making references either, though, so those become a lot easier at that point. Of course, this is a lot of work. I didn't realize how many words were in that, each one of those. Until I wrote them down, I'm like, whoa. That's a lot of words. It's been fun doing that, though. I know which ones need to be redone and how they need to be redone as far as those particular ones. Oh, so it must be the little World Cup thing going on, or about to go on, whatever. Don't want to go that way. Of course, I also have another thing that I'm kind of working on. I haven't worked on for a while, but I do have started too, but I mean, other than that, really nothing really going on here. It's pretty simple and all that. Because I know there's people that, the only reason I even thought about it is, I know there's people that would rather read it than listen to it, or watch a video and all that. So, you gotta humor them as well, or at least try to. But the only way to actually put in the references is to do it that way. Well, I could do it on the audio, but I'd have to dub in where it is. And, well, I can't dub stuff when I'm doing streams. So, it's kind of hard to do that, but I've also kind of decided how I want to do it, possibly, but I also don't know if I want to do it that way or not, too. But either A, I do them in order that they're actually on my YouTube, because that's where they all go to eventually, if they're ones I count as official or whatever. Or I categorize them and put the ones that are supposed to be together, and the ones that are supposed to be in another place where they're supposed to go. I'm thinking about just doing them in order, though. And I'm also debating on, either at the start of it or the end of it, actually put a little thing that actually kind of reveals what it is actually about without any speculation. Kind of like in a way, setting of the mood, or give you perspective of what you should be thinking about, or put you on the same page so you're not misunderstanding what it is that's being talked about. I just haven't fully got all the details, and want to make sure I get quite a few of them done before I even consider putting them out or anything. But and my initial goal is to put it on Audible, actually. Or the Audible part will be a bit harder, but I have a condenser mic that I can always use if I had to. Or another site that does that kind of thing or whatever. I have all the equipment, I can easily do that. It's not very hard. fact, the room that I'm sitting in is a sound dampened room. Well, yeah, that's what I have in the works as far as that. I can't reveal the other thing because, well, the person hasn't finalized what it is. So, but possible collaboration work. If they do what it is they're supposed to do, that is. But I don't mind revealing what might be happening, though. Maybe it might give a little bit more incentive to this individual. But somebody offered me to do some voice acting for them for a anime, actually. But they haven't done what in that industry is standard, so I can't really go forward yet. Which usually within that, you have a contract between you and the person that you're doing the voice acting for. That way, nobody can be doing any smooth moves and, you know, not being nice and all that stuff. It's actually, if you look it up, it's actually the most common procedure to do, and the smartest thing to do between voice acting and the person you're voice acting for. It protects you and it protects the person that you're doing the acting for as well. Because you got to think about it. If I'm doing a character and there's 3 other people, what happens if somebody becomes a douchebag and decides to say, oh, this is all mine? That guy has no protection. Right? Or they do, the person that I'd be doing the voice acting for says, oh, you have no rights and you don't get anything. Well, then I'm up a creek with no paddle. That's why I said it could possibly be in the works. I asked him and told him that he needs to do that. And I've yet to hear anything. Still talking and stuff, kind of generally. He says that the story is being worked on or whatever, but I've already decided if... I mean, it doesn't have to be... it's simple enough just to make one to make sure that he's able to keep what is actually his. As well as me being protected for what he possibly could do if he was a douchebag. And of course, any voice actor that's done any work would know that you do not do any work without a contract. Or if you do, there is a sample beep in it to where they cannot take your stuff without. But that's something else that might be in the works. I don't actually mind revealing that. I just was trying to wait to see if he was gonna actually. Well, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, actually, to be honest, but if they were gonna actually, show themselves as professional. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're just getting into it or not. They need to learn the ropes first. But it is what it is. And it's kind of seeming like it's not going to happen. That's the sad thing is I would have actually done it if he would have, you know, if it would have fit my channel, of course, too. It's another thing I was specifically asking about because it's got to be somewhat kids friendly. Okay, I might go off the deep end from time to time and all that, but I try to somewhat keep it close to that if I can. And actually, I don't mind revealing something else too. As far as that, actually, if this is kind of funny, but it's also kind of not for me at least. Uh, my mom, she says I have a creepy voice. Well, apparently this guy thought I had a creepy voice too. Because he wanted me to play the villain, actually, originally. I was like, that doesn't really fit my channel, even though I know I got a creepy voice. It's all good. Thank you for acknowledging that you think the same. But yeah, that's something that possibly could be in the works. The guy said they were working on the story. All that. I told him they're gonna need to do a contract, at least to protect me and him, as well as anyone else, because anyone that is serious about this is gonna want the same thing. So I'm sure I'm not the only one that'll actually ask for that. And it's more for protection, is what it is. And actually, I was thinking more of him than me. I don't want to be working on something and one of the other people steal all this stuff. And all of a sudden, now there's me, them, and anybody else that was involved. You know. No, I realize the guy may not have funds or whatever. That's not particularly what the contract is about. It's just to protect what work I'm going to do for him. The way if it's monetized or whatever, I'm still gonna get what it is that's supposed to be. And he still keeps the rights no matter what any of the others do that may be a part of it too. Kind of just thinking of the safest way to do it. But also don't want to get screwed out of anything either. So, I mean, in that field, that's standard. So, I mean, even if he were to try to bring that in front of any other person that could possibly do professional voice acting, that's the first thing they're going to ask for. But anyway, as far as that. But yeah, I'm steadily waiting to see if that's going to happen or not. I don't mind revealing it. Might put a little fire underneath his butt to get it started. That and I was trying to figure out exactly how they're going to do it too. Because I don't know if he's wanting it to be streamed, like real-time streamed, or like recorded and then posted. You know, so I don't know exactly how this is going to be done or anything. I know if it's live, I'll have to use this, what I'm using right now, but if it's not, well, I don't have the light on or anything, but hold on. I can possibly show my condenser mic, actually. I'll have to move all this stuff around a little bit to be able to do that, but it's going to get kind of bright in here. There's my condenser mic right there. Now I have it hanging from the ceiling, actually. It's a boom mic that I attached to the ceiling. It's a Stellar, as it is, that I remember. I think it's the extra large one, if I remember right. It's, I can find out the exact specs, actually. I'll have to back out of this for a minute, though. Nope, don't. It's not kicking me out. I'll find out what the specs are, which one it is. Should be on my orders, so all I gotta do is take a look at it. If it decides to load. I gotta remember when I bought it, though. I think I bought it last year. I just gotta find it. Okay, that was when I did my snogs. No. Yeah, it's a TZ Stellar X2 large diagram mic is what it is. I mean, coupled with my, well, between SoundForge, Cubase, and Reaper, which I've used all three of them, and my X3 32 rack, or no, my X32 rack system mount, controlled by a tablet. I could easily do very easily we're at a room that's been sound dampened with 4 inches of acoustic insulation, one at 80 and one at 40 as far as the densities, as well as sound blankets that cover the entire room. I think I'm pretty good on my sound dampening. Anyway, as far as that goes, it says my attack is blocked, but it's not. But hopefully it's one of those things where whatever that detail needs to be worked out can easily be worked out. Having that mic like that is actually quite handy because it actually kind of drops down a little bit, and then with the angle that I can add in, it's up out of the way. Nobody's ever going to be over in that area. But then all of a sudden, once I do it, I don't have to move anything around. It's just, well, besides turning in the thing, but it's actually quite convenient. I've used it quite a bit of times. Then, of course, I got like 2 different pop filters. Well, 3 actually. And actually, anyone that's listened to the inspirations of a gamer that it's just off this. This is a condenser mic too, though, actually. As far as all of that goes, we'll find out what happens with all of that. Oh, look at that, just leveled. Nice. Well, yeah, there's a few ideas of things that might be happening at some time in the near future, as well as things that possibly could be in the works if everything plays out the way that it needs to for it to be possible, that is. But so no, that's whole voice acting for that person will not happen unless some kind of contract to protect me and him and anyone else that's involved is written and all that good stuff. At least as me doing it in any part of it. But I guess time will tell as far as that. It was a little better, at least say it could be in the works for those that might be curious about that kind of thing and other stuff. That's what I was talking about as far as in the works a while back. Other than that, the only other thing that's at least in the works is uh, Volume 2 will be starting to get posted pretty soon, hopefully. There's a lot of prep work and stuff for the music version of it, but because I wanted to make sure that the first volume would be able to be released before I started on the second one first. As far as the one that is not the music version, that I pretty much have clear up to volume 6. I just gotta post it. Other than, well, making it into a video for YouTube or whatever. Possibly here too at some point. If I do that though, I'll answer questions or anything else like that, but gotta get people watching and all that stuff first. Or talking at least. And the whole thing with me going through and writing down all my older work that I've done and putting it into written form. That's been pretty fun. It also revealed a few of my older videos that need to be redone. I can definitely tell. It's like, at the point, that was about the best I could do. Compared to that now, oh man, the video would totally be different. With more detail, less gaps. More intricate, more elegant. Of course, I'd probably do like what I did with the other ones that I've redone. Leave the old version up for a little while and then take it down and replace it with the newer one. Unless I labeled it in some way that I could keep the older version and any other additions to it. You have to figure out that detail yet, but that's some things possibly in the works as well. As well as me just streaming normal, talking normal like I am. Figured I'd give an opportunity for those that don't necessarily want to hear me doing my motivational thing to still watch me play the game or whatever, or just talk about randomness. Of course, when things start coming together and working out for the way they're going to, I guess you'll figure that out when it's time that happens. Just gotta be ready for whatever it is that happens. As far as that goes, at least. Never know, it could be something that leads to something else as well, so gotta see where it could possibly go. Because working together with that guy could lead to something else too. Don't even know. Well, that is, if it works that way. I guess if it don't, well, then it is what it is. This is something else I wish to mention about that, by the way. Now, I've said that I've heard things particular and have recording of things. Now, the only reason I even said yes, and I said what had to be done for me to give a yes, is because of what I heard 2 to 3 months before This guy even approached me that I still have audio of, actually. That's the only reason I even said yes. If certain things were. Put to where I could say yes. Of course, the only other thing I gotta figure out about this whole thing is, am I going to be playing a game while I'm doing this, or... That's the only other thing I gotta figure out. But also, for what it is I particularly heard, the reason why I made that condition, that way I know if they're for me or against me, by requiring that condition. Because if they're not, well, more than likely I will not get for what it is I have requested, for at that point it proves that they are not. aside, something that I deal with. It is what it is. In fact, I usually know when it's about time for me to do that too, but it's just another hassle, I guess, amongst this field. But also it can be a blessing as well. It's not one of those kinds of things that can be pleasant or unpleasant, to be honest. It can be both in one way or another. Just depends on who it is or what. But for many, they probably don't believe in such things. So, it is what it is. For them, more than likely, they never will have such things, encounter them. But for me, I have. Multiple occasions. The funny thing about it is, about that, is that why I'm recording what it is I'm doing right now. More than likely, in some spot somewhere. If you were to take the audio and increase it when I'm not speaking, you will hear another that is speaking. Just for the sake of this. For those that may be in doubt. The rest of this, I'll leave the game volume out. Doesn't always happen, but many times it does. So much so that I'll hear it with my own 2 ears. And then when I review it, I hear it just as I happen to have heard it. In the exact spot. Doesn't mean that they will, but I know that there are a few that do. One of these times I will show one of those that I have gone through and labeled every single spot. Now, if for some reason you actually do wish to do that, or you doubt, I want to warn you of one thing first, though. If you're like, oh, no way, and you have not got yourself into this, once you get in, and do such things as that, you open a door that cannot be shut. Because then you acknowledge upon the fact that you know they are there. Just like ones that have done like things with Ouija boards and other things such as that. Once you do something like that, and there's one present while you do that, uh, you just open a door that you may not want to be open. So a subtle warning, if you do try what I'm about to say, you've been warned. Bad things can happen if you do not do such things properly. Or if you do not humor for what it is and think that it is less. For certain things that can be supernatural, can do more than you think. That's why they're called supernatural. I'll be playing this for a while, so you will have plenty of opportunity if there are any that are around me. If it is that for some reason you do not believe, and you do not mind opening that door. Or you're one that believes and you just wish to have more evidence. But if you think it's a game, and it's a joke, you try to open that door, you will find out real quick it is not a joke. But if you have a DAW, in case you do not know what that is, it is called a digital workstation. Digital audio workstation. Like Reaper, Pro Tools. You can always use a few of the freer ones if you want it. But all you have to do is get the audio, And in this space, where there is no talking, normalize that to 0 decibels. And then all you do is listen. And when you hear an individual talking, there's something you need to keep in mind. Why it is you're hearing them talk. When that line is straight and thin, do you realize how many decibels that is below hearing level? Because that line is representation of hearing level. That's 60 decibels below. I know that because I'm a sound engineer, a recording engineer as well. The bare minimum for any noise to be picked up by a DAW is 60 decibels. Negative 60 decibels. Zero is like when you're listening to music or whatever, that music is set at 0 decibels. So if you take a line that is set at 60 and it shows nothing, and you increase it to 0, how many decibels is that louder? Now, at least for mine, most of the time, I barely even have to turn it up at all. Very clear, too. Even amongst my videos, there are plenty of times that you can very clearly hear. Particularly for whatever reason, the ones that tend to like to be around me are ones that like to do what is that? EVP. Particularly electronic voice phenomenon. At least that's what I have learned as far as that goes. There's been more than just that as well, though. Items moving, noises, when there's no way or possibility of the noise being made. Like there was one time I was sitting there and I heard a glass get hit with like something like a spoon or a knife, but there was no one there. And as far as what it is that I knew, there had been never that occurrence in that place. Why I was there. I made sure of it. Because as soon as I heard that, it's like, nope, there's no way that they're gonna. But anyway. At first I thought I was just hearing things. Until one day when I watched one of my videos that I did. I heard someone talk when my mouth was not moving. No, it doesn't mean that they always do so. But at least for me, I know I've heard them. I've even had other phenomenon that has happened in front of me too. Do you wish to see one? Now, this is not going to be very easy for me to explain. This is before the new company that's taken this over. Wanted to tell you that first. Now, I have to find it. Oh, not that one. I gotta find the right one first. Nope, that's not it either. I gotta find it before I can really show that, though. I can't see how long it is. Yeah, that's... I can't see what it's supposed to be able to see to tell which one it is, though. Oh, there we go. That's not it. Where is it? There's one that I got particularly on that I'm looking for. This might be it. I randomly died for no reason. That's not the one I'm looking for, though. Let's see if it's this one. Oh, that's not it either. Where is it? Might be this one. Yeah. No, that might be the same one, I think. Yeah. That's the full version of it, though. Let's see. This one might be one. Nah, that's not one. Well, there was a few examples. According to what I see, there's no one there. Other than me. And, oh, by the way, that dungeon is a solo dungeon. No one else can be there. Under all rules of the game. There was a few others that I have video of that as well. So you can say I've had some, according to what it is that I see, some paranormal activity. Don't mind showing it, because they didn't accomplish anything. Other than being caught on camera doing something that did nothing. And gave me proof of supernatural compared to what it is that I see. What's kind of interesting is I actually have a whole nother video that I've never posted that I made around that point. That was one of my first real poetry pieces. Speaking of exactly what was going on, then I still have. Then I'm still debating on if I wish to post it or not. But also, here's the part that confuses me. The very one that would do such a thing. It's like, why? And it was funny because there was something that the individuals were saying around me at that point that I heard. That they can't wait for a certain individual to go away. Now, that was with the company that was right before the one that is running this game now. So, in fact, it was about a month or so before they shut down. Sent email after email, and they did nothing. But anyway, enough on that. It hasn't happened since that I'm aware of, at least. Well, possibly. Don't know if that's true or not. But easy way to find out. On this game, particularly, when a mob hits you or anyone, even when you're PvPing, the number of what they hit you shows up right there. Oh yeah, by the way, I also wish to mention this as well. That entire time, I was on a non-PvP. By all rules of the game, no PvP could be done on the particular one that I was on. In fact, on the videos that I show that, I specifically have the server up for a reason. To prove upon the fact it shouldn't be happening. Which I do have quite a few of them too, actually. More than just that. And every single one of them was sent a short clip, of course, to the game masters at the time. But anyway, I haven't had anything happen since that I'm aware of, at least. Or that I've actually even worried about trying to do anything about, I'll put it that way. But because of the way that I record most of it, I could very easily, if I wanted to, if I could tell. But, so that's just a small example of supernatural electronic phenomenon happening around me. Even that is a good example of it. At least according to what I see, that is. In fact, in those little clips I showed, that entire area, every single mob was gone. I intentionally went through and killed every single one. But anyway, so yeah, just a small example of some paranormal, at least with that kind of thing, according to what I see on my screen, at least. And is recorded according to what it is that I see. But yeah, I might show some more of them later on. I have to go through them and figure out which ones are which, because I made a few of them. I knew eventually at some point I would show them, though. It's like for ones that might think that, oh, no way that you can experience. You might see it in a different way than I do. But according to me, I was the only one there. According to what I see on the video, I was the only one there. In a dungeon that I would be the only one allowed to be there. On a non-PvP server. In fact, you can't even PvP at all on that server. Just like on this one. Every single stream that I have been doing has been on a non-PvP. Under no condition can anyone walk up to me and kill me for any reason. If you do not believe me, I will prove it to you right now as well. You see that, right? This is the only, other than, well, before the change of company, that I have ever played. But anyway, I mean, even during that, the short little clips of that happening, I was on the equivalent of the same thing. But anyway, a small example of that, I guess. Like there's been multiple times that I'm gonna have to reset these things. Ah, I may have to do this because I got a little too many of them after me. Yep. Oh, forgot I gotta get that too. But anyway, but yeah, for those that might think that kind of thing can't happen, or other things such as that, within my perception, it has. For you, it might be different. But a small example of how maybe my perception is slightly different. And the most interesting thing about it was, well, at first at least, the only thing I was doing was playing the game. Now, after they ticked me off, started trying to provoke them to do it. It's like, go ahead. I'm recording you as you do it. You just don't know I am. But other than that, I've had a pleasant time. That's why I said it can be a good and bad thing at the same time. Just a small example of what can happen. Particularly if you get one that, well, doesn't want anything good for you. Or you piss one off for some reason, even though you may not know that you did. Just a small example of what can happen. That's another reason why I said it is as I said. You'll find out real quick. It's not a game. And it's not a joke either. But that aside, the funny thing about it is, for me, all that did, well, besides irk me off a little bit, was just be like, well, I'd like to see you do that in the light. I think the only other comment I'll have about that kind of thing, it takes a real coward to do such a thing. To break the rules of a game that they chose to play. And agreed upon installing the game to follow. Like, in that place where that happened, that was a solo dungeon. You cannot be in a party. There's no one else that can be there at all. In fact, if you get in a party, it will kick you out of the party to go in that place. But anyway, it takes a real coward to hide in shadow. That's what I gotta say about that. Yeah, if you got a bigger character than mine, so what? What happens if there's somebody that's just as big as you that wants to... Yeah. Anyway, enough on that because it's just... It is what it is. It happened. And here's the part that was probably the saddest about all of it. According to what I know, too, I was doing nothing but just trying to play the game. That's all I was trying to do. Trying to get my gear for my 70 and all that stuff. In a place that, even when I played the original game, that I went there once. And I only looked and then turned around. Never really did anything in that area or anything. But whoever it was. There was another thing they did too. That alerted me of their presence, actually, that I wish I would have recorded. Won't say what it was, but of course I already pretty much knew. But also I'm like, what'd I do to you, you know? I don't even know. I was just playing the game, trying to do my videos like I'm doing now. It was just normal speech. It wasn't even doing any poetry stuff quite yet. I was just barely starting on that. But it hasn't stopped me and it never will. So their efforts are ill. I don't even know what I did to piss them off, to be honest. But a fair warning, like I said before. That's part of the reason why I wanted to show that. Because I said it's not a joke. And for most of the videos that were shown as well, other than that, or things that I sent to the game masters at the time. Trying to get them to address it. But that is not this current company. I want to state that very clearly, though. That was the other company that was right before this one. And that happened shortly before they switched to this new company, actually. Just shortly before they announced it, actually. I think that happened almost a month before they announced it, actually. Close to it. Well, yeah, there's been other things that have happened similar to that too as well, but most of those have not been recorded, or they may have been, and I just didn't notice. But yeah, like I said, electronic phenomenon, that's one example at least. For me, I got on the bad side of it. At least according to my perception, that is. I don't know if you see the other individual or not, but for me, I don't. In fact, that's the whole reason why the screen is turned like this. Because I don't know if there's anyone there. But I know there was no mobs because that entire area was cleared out. Now, there's been times where certain things have happened too, but I also knew that someone was there. Couldn't see them, but started looking around for them because I knew they had to be there for something to happen like that. Or something. But anyway, it is what it is. I deal with what I'm able. I know that might be a weird subject to talk about, but something I deal with. I don't mind being open as well. It's easier to put it all out on the table than try to hide it and not put it on the table. And you have at least 30 minutes to almost an hour. It might be possible. Things being said other than me. Speaking. Oh, and you have a camera to see if it is I'm speaking. And like I said before, you choose to open that door, there is no shutting it. Because once you acknowledge, they acknowledge that they know that you know. But yeah, this is just a general gameplay with my randomness, talking about, possible things that are going on and, well, in a lack of way of saying it. A way that makes it possible. But probably plenty of opportunity for you to hear if it is that you actually take and do such things as I have spoke already. Okay, what's going on with that? Okay. What? Uh, Wait, is my video card acting up or something? That's about normal temperature. Okay, I might have to stop this for now. Okay, that's going bananas. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop this probably. Let's see, maybe not happening somewhere else. Okay, so my stuff might be glitching, possibly. I don't see why it would be, but I guess that is the end for now. If I can remember which one it is. Oh, that looks like all the time I have for now. So until next time.